work as a sound poet, to put you in that box temporarily at least, there is this tradition of avant-garde poetry, which is absolutely fascinating, and it's largely a performance tradition. And if we're looking at the history of spoken word, we can't not look at surrealist poets, Dada poets, cabaret Voltaires in the 1920s and 30s, people getting up and just screaming stuff which was totally considered outside of what poetry is. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on that and how your work might intersect with that history.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about that history when I first started doing sound stuff, because I was coming more from music, and I was interested in composers like Luciano Berio, who's written a sequenza for voice that uses these kind of sound things. So that was more my background, and I was using articulation techniques coming from playing the recorder, to be honest, but to a really high level. Anyway, so I was using that stuff, kind of articulations.
Is it in beatboxing? That's it. You call your TK, which is your hi-hat.
Yeah. I mean, I can't beatbox, but yeah, I could do that bit.
Vocal percussion, who doesn't use vocal percussion, you could argue that there's an element of beatboxing in all speech.
Sure, yeah.
But
So I like that. But then I was at Dartington College of Arts, and there was a guy there, Olka Linzan, from the States, and he was really into what we call kind of post-Dadaist performances, and he'd kind of gather us all in the middle of a field and give us some like rubber chickens to wave and things to hit, and he'd make these crazy screamy noises, and it was in Dartington College all the students standing around going this is sound poetry, it's a Dada, and then he'd do it down at the local pub and everyone would be rolling around laughing, which was brilliant because it really was funny, and like that that made it so much that really worked. Obviously I kind of looked at Bob Cobbin and other sound poets, and I'm really interested in that. I mean, I think I can't quite get away from my musician background, so when I work with sound and sound poetry, I think it's a bit more from a musical perspective, although I'd probably still call it sound poetry, but I think my work's a bit different to those sound poets, although they worked with musicians as well. But it's quite interesting that you can think about, do you change something through the way in which you listen to it? If you listen to this sound as music, is it different to listening to it as poetry? What is a lens that we kind of view something?
Framing, yeah. Well, it's interesting. I was chatting to Rob Alton earlier today. He was talking about how Joel Taylor was saying that his stuff could be put on a podium in a white room in a gallery and do his shows about the colour yellow, almost as kind of a conceptual art. And it's what is in one place something highly intellectual, and when you put it in the pub is just somebody doing random noises.
Funny noises, yeah, and it's fun to play with contexts in that way and to see how that changes your work or your reception of your work.